We managed to stop Cupid in his tracks yesterday with this very creative device, so I was happy about that. I was having a quick look at the Boston Evening transcript of Eliot's yesterday. The readers of the Boston Evening transcript, readers is like, you could have that with an E, like reads, readers. And one of the correspondences of Boston Evening transcript could be news, which when I just looked it up, funny enough, that can mean something like O. We've got several of those O's in Game of Chess in the Wasteland. So is that actually 4 reads? Sway in the wind like a field of ripe corn could be relating to this idea of a field of reeds. Aru, so heavenly paradise. And I think in that sense, news would be relating to heavenly paradise. Good for her. When the evening quickens, is that related to rushes? I'm not sure if rushes and reeds are the same. I'm not sure about awakening the appetites of life in some, but it made me think of the word ravenous and maybe ravens. Perhaps the steps relate to Isis. I'm not that familiar with La Rochefoucauld, however you say his name's work, but I did come across a quote that involved the idea of you need good sense and wit, not just wit alone. So I wondered if it was to do with good scent, as in smell. If the street were time and he at the end of the street. So in French, street is rue, which is said to correspond to a lion, the sound a lion makes, and also the letter L. So I wondered if he at the end of the street would be Elohim. I'm not sure who Cousin Harriet is, but there's variants of Harriet which include hat, and in Greek, Erica, which I've talked about before, I think. The other thing about Boston Evening transcript, apart from being news, is bet, as in the second letter of the alphabet, second part of the word, alphabet, which corresponds to home. And I say, Cousin Harriet, here is home. The other thing about Boston Evening transcript I was thinking of is the Boston Tea Party, and obviously the letter T relating to female. There's some ramblings of a madwoman. Thanks for listening.